guys, it's Ryan here from CNR Reviews. We got Chad on the camera there, and today we are going to be doing something that I talked about in my first video, or one of my first videos on the Colt M4. We're going to be changing out this forend to a rifle length handguard on here, and going over, and that's going to actually go over the low profile gas block. Then we're going to show you guys how to disassemble and reassemble as well. And then we're also going to be putting on the end cap here on this Yankee Hill lightweight handguard that I chose. And then also this is I believe it's a Phantom flash hider from Yankee Hill as well. We're going to be putting that on there. It is a muzzle brake as well.
Copier.
So, yeah, I think Chad has one very similar. These are the tools that we're going to be using, guys, or some of the tools that we're going to be using. This should be a very simple thing to do if you have the correct tools. So not a lot of people want to invest the money into getting these tools. Now, just the tool setup of this block here, this vise block to actually hold the receiver in a vise, actually is made for an AR-15 M4. And this charging handle area, which is to keep the spacing there so it's not crushed. The Pro Make setup that I bought is about 35 bucks. Then you also need an AR tool. We chose the Tapco Intrafuse AR tool, and it's because we've had good luck with Tapco products. And I will tell you guys this right now, this thing is about 1/4 inch thick of just like heavy steel.
It's a beast.
Yeah, it's even got a little marked beer can section there. You can open up a beer bottle with our beer, whatever, beer bottle can, whatever you want to drink, growler. And then also we're going to be using a torque wrench as well, and that is to get the correct specifications between 30 and 80 foot-pounds of torque on the handguard.
So if you guys are familiar with torque wrenches, they are not cheap. This one I actually bought at a cheaper place, and I still spent like 30 bucks on it. So be aware of that. They are super expensive. So,
all right, guys. So the first thing we're going to do with this Colt M4 is we're going to break it down to the point where we can start taking off the barrel nut, and things like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is just push the pins and actually disassemble, take off the lower from the upper.
How's that looking, Ryan?
You're off the screen.
Okay. There you go.
There you go. All right. So
if you know AR, you guys know, just push the two pins out.
Yeah, just push these two, the front and rear pin. This front one's always kind of a bitch. All right, there's the lower, so we're just going to get that out of the way because we're not going to be using that for anything. So here's just the upper.
We will show you the completed product, guys, at the end, though.
Yep. So just take out the internals here. It's my BCM gunfighter charging handle. We're just going to set that to the side as well. We're actually going to close this up because we're going to be putting it in this block. Now the way it goes in the block here, you can clearly see that the round section there is at the bottom, or the bigger section, and then we have an area for like the top rail to fit in. So I'm going to just put this in here like that. Let's see if that'll do it. Correct spot here. Go over that. Nope. I need to go forward. There we go. There we go.
So you need to put it right in front of your deflector.
Yep. You guys need to put it in front of the deflector here, and the barrel nuts on the other side. So put it in between those two. Now I'm going to put this in the vise. jaws back just a bit.
So as you guys can see, it really protects the receiver. Make sure it stays round, you're not collapsing it.
Before I tighten it all the way down, guys, I am going to put in this just to make sure that it stays round in there. Keeps it protected. Right. Tighten that down there. And our next step is to actually take off the handguard that we have on there and the gas block. So,
now if you want to know how to install a quad rail like that, this is the carbine length quad rail. That quad rail right there, we actually have an Accessorizing Your AR Part 1 where we show you that.
Yeah, and this is by Global Military Gear, I believe.
It's a very inexpensive quad rail, guys, and it's actually held up pretty well. We've been very impressed with it so far, and you don't always have to buy the super expensive, $150, $200 rails to get something that's functional. And that's the whole point, is getting it to be functional without it killing you in cost. A lot of these ARs, especially recently, the prices have skyrocketed. So it's definitely, that rail has been really well worth its money.
Hey guys, it actually has held up pretty well, and we bought that on Amazon.com for like 30 bucks.
And we will be keeping it, so you want to make sure that any of these parts you take off, even if you're taking off the standard A2 style handguard in the front, hang on to those guys in case you ever want to sell the firearm in the future and you plan on rebuilding an AR. That's
giving
perfect.
Some added accessories to it, or
sure,
maybe even fixing up a buddy's that, for a gift or something, or just giving him the handguard. That'd be kind of nice.
I'm actually going to drop the camera.
Alright. So with this Global Military handguard, it's very, very easy to take off. All you basically have to do is brace your table here, pull back on it a little bit, and separate it. Oops, we have some nail protectors on there. There we go.
It's that easy, guys.
Very, very simple. We can save this for another time. Alright guys, so I'm going to be loosening up the gas block here. And it just takes a little bit of the Allen bit. And we can start sliding this off. Now, before we actually get this fully off, we are going to have to take the muzzle brake off. Okay. So this is where one of the things that you can use your AR tool for. And it specifically has a section for muzzle device right there. So it should fit directly on. Just break it.
Guys, it's honestly that easy.
Yep.
You
just got to break it a little bit.
Yeah. And the poundage, guys, on those flash hiders or compensators in the front is only like 15 pounds, so it's not very hard.
Yeah, it might be a little stuck though. This one was stuck the first time that we took it off, and so it took a little bit more than that. But all right, so there's your gas tube and your gas block. I'm actually gonna put this little Allen screw back in there. We're just gonna set that to the side. Now you can take this off if you want. I'm figuring on keeping this on there. This is the bracket that kind of goes in the front of your original A2 style handguard. I want this on there almost to act as a spacer for the gas block to make sure that it is aligned correctly with the actual gas hole on the barrel. So I'm going to put that back on. That'll fit directly underneath the handguard. Okay. And as you guys could see, my gas tube is really dirty. We actually just shot this rifle a couple days ago, so I haven't had a real good chance to clean it. Alright guys, we're going to show you how to do this, but we have pre-loosened this nut because this thing was really freaking tight on here. So what you want to do is just place the teeth from the AR tool, these teeth in here, into the grooves on this. And I don't know if you guys can see those, but there is a nut there. So I'm going to just push it in like this. I don't know if you guys can see those. I'm
yeah, there they are.
On the plunger
there
there.
They are.
Okay.
And this is where, guys, this tool is indispensable right here. You have to have this tool.
Now make sure you put pressure going this way also to prevent this tool from coming out, because it does kind of have a little bit of a slick finish on it. So now just spin it like that and break it. Now you can just use your hand after that.
Righty tighty, lefty loosey on this, guys.
Yep.
Same thing on your muzzle brake.
I would suggest that when you're using the tool to break it the first time, put your tool like this so you can actually push it down on the tool rather than pulling up. If you don't have a strong table or a table that you know has a lot of weight behind it. So.
And this is a perfect time, guys, to get a friend.
Yep.
To help you.
Now, this barrel is already aligned, so I'm not going to take the barrel off because you don't need to. Okay. Now, if you were to take the barrel off, it does have a little tit on the top of it there. That, Jack, can you zoom in on that? Can you see that?
Yeah.
It's right there. Okay. It has a little piece sticking up that aligns right in those threads. So that's the way you would know if your barrel is aligned correctly when you're putting it back in. So if you were to take it out, I'm not taking it out.
So now it's time, guys, to install the full-length quad rail.
Yep. Yankee Hill.
Look at that beast.
This is their lightweight version, guys, and it's pretty freaking gigantic. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is the rifle length. Oh, listen to how smooth that is. That's nice. That's good machining right there, guys.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Alright, so now I'm going to put the new barrel nut on, guys. You could put thread locker on this, which I'm actually going to do. I'm going to put some thread locker on this. I'm going to use, there's my blue Loctite. There it is. I'm going to use some Loctite on this, guys. You're supposed to use it on here. That's what I've been told. So I'm going to just put a little bit on these threads right there. I'm actually going to wipe off any excess here. Let's just go. Because I did put a little bit too much. For my liking. There we go. Got a nice spot. Let's just all this back up. Okay. You do want to use your tool here.
So now, you guys, they recommend that you tighten it down between 30 and 80 pounds.
Guys, that's a big difference. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of tighten it till we... Actually, going to take this off right here. Look through. Pretty sure that actually aligns properly. See if I can get a little bit more out of it.
So what you're trying to do, guys, is line up one of the holes for the gas plug to go through.
Yeah.
Or the gas tube, I'm sorry, not the plug. There you go. Take a look at that.
I think that's in the middle. It's just a little bit off. I'm going to tighten it just a little bit more.
So whatever you do on this, don't over tighten it, guys.
And that's it. Right there. Okay. Now what it says we need to do is take the jam nut here, guys. And this is going to go all the way to the back. So let's see if we can do this. Just getting a grip on it all the way back there. I think that is good.
So there's a close-up, guys, to show you where that is sitting.
It went all the way to the back.
Yeah, dude, that's good enough.
I'm pretty sure that's good. Okay. So, according to Yankee Hill, install the jam nut, then unscrew it toward the muzzle 1/2 or 1 1/2 turn. Great. Now I gotta do it again. Back out. So probably what I just did.
That's good.
I think that's good. Right there. Okay, clean ingredient. If you're installing low profile gas product, install it at this time. Okay. So we are installing a Wilson Combat low profile gas block.
By the way, guys, Wilson Combat stuff, awesome stuff.
Yes.
We highly
Very, very
recommend
good
their
stuff,
stuff.
guys. So we are going to install this at this time.
You need to put that bracket.
That is correct. Chad got me on that one. I'm going to have to use this bracket here, and it is going to fit inside. Sweet. Okay, this bracket is from my original 4N, and I have to put that in here to make it, or use it as a spacer. I have to use that as a spacer, guys.
So now that that's on, guys, that needs to be tightened down
Well, it needs to be
and aligned properly.
aligned properly, which you can just pretty much eyeball it. Chad, does that look straight to you?
Looks good to me.
Good. Let's tighten.
Now, guys, if you notice stuff at the range, let's say you do notice that you're having some issues cycling, what that means is that your gas block is off.
Yep.
And we've actually had that happen before where we've had to adjust the gas block out on site because the gas block was sitting too far back or it had loosened up. So those are ones that just be aware of that.
Into the Wilson Combat gas block. I have decided to put some blue Loctite on the little nut or the little bolts here, so that when I tighten it down, they do stay in place. Because I have had this thing kind of move around on me a little bit. in the past. So I did only Loctite one of the bolts, just in case I ever need to get it off, you know. So, all right. Now, one of the things that Yankee Hill tells you in their directions is to clean off these threads before installing the actual handguard. Okay. Well, here's the thing with that, guys. Cleaning it off is fine, but they don't tell you to then oil the threads like they do in their installation videos. So I'm actually going to oil these threads. I'm going to oil it in the front here. I'm going to put another drop back here, so that when I start to tighten this on, it'll spread the oil, and then hopefully we won't have any problems.
So when you install this, guys, make sure that you pay attention to the thread pattern on the inside of the guard. Some of the threads are longer. You have a longer section on one side, and that's the one that actually needs to go onto the
nut.
The nut, yeah.
It's going on nice and smooth too. That's nice.
You just see that superior machining. I think it's sweet.
Okay, and the way that I want mine to end up, guys, is there's a little hole right here, and that is for a sling swivel little bolt that Yankee Hill manufactures. They actually have it. Well, they have one that's kind of like it. This one actually fits on the rail itself. They do have little swing or sling swivel areas that you can just screw directly into here. The little bolts, and so that's where I want mine to be, on the bottom of the handguard. So, all right. Now what I'm going to do, it's actually at the top right now. So what I'm going to do is, maybe I'm going to have to end up having it on the side, because I'm going to crank down on this thing. I'll just have it on the side. Well, I don't actually want the set screws on the side. So let me see here. I'll just crank on this, move my jam nut a little bit along with it, and I'm going to end up right where I want it to be.
Now, guys, we ran into an issue with the jam nut.
Yeah, the Tapco tool doesn't work real well with it. It doesn't have a place to tighten the jam nut on here. It doesn't have the. I think the jam nut is specifically manufactured for Yankee Hill products. So the Tapco tool, AR tool, doesn't have a wrench area for the jam nut, which is, I hate to say it, I think it's kind of crappy. Tapco is a generalized company. They make things for all different types of ARs, and I think they need to take Yankee Hill as one of the bigger companies that makes handguards, and I think they need to make them. They need to put something on there like that, or to handle those nuts. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to put in my set screws, and these are the anti-rotation screws.
So basically that handguard's already tightened down, guys. This is just going to help prevent it from moving back and forth at any time in the future.
Yeah.
And do they recommend Loctite on those?
They do not.
So there you go.
They don't recommend Loctite on. They also don't say tighten down all the way until you have fully tightened your jam nut up against this, up against the actual handguard. So I'm going to install these here, and I'm not going to. Well, that one actually bottomed out. Let's see if this one does. Yep, that one bottoms out too. So sweet. I'm actually going to just fully tighten those, because that's going to prevent the rotation of the handguard anyway. So, and I feel that this nut is actually, because I actually, this thing's really tight on here, so I don't think it's going to come loose. And as you guys saw when I was actually tightening this up, I did twist it of where it's right up against the jam nut. I actually kind of used the handguard as a jam nut to the jam nut.
Yeah.
So, all right, so that is that. After putting in those little anti-rotation screws, now we're going to actually put the little front cap on here. Now this one says, this is their thread locker. This is their Vibra-Tight, low strength, removable. You think I should use that, or do you think I should just use blue Loctite?
Just use their crap.
I'll use theirs. That's what I was actually thinking.
I like though how they actually provide that.
I do, and they provide quite a bit of it, so you could actually use it on the whole handguard if you really wanted to. I'm of the mind that with the anti-rotation screws, you don't need that. You don't need to actually put the handguard on with it. If you do want to put it on your gas block and your barrel nut, that might be a good idea. So, we have something to nip the tip with.
Room oil.
I'm going to perform a circumcision on this. Ah! Alright.
Well, you're going to use, guys, the same.
Now it does have
tool.
a little beveled edge on the inside there, guys. But it looks like, I don't think one is bigger than the other, so I really don't think it really matters which way. So I'm going to put a drop here and maybe a drop here. I don't know how many I want. Put a couple drops on there.
You're going to use the same Tapco tool to tighten that down. It's got the same holes.
Yep. You want to get it started though. Now this just gives a finished look to the end of the handguard. Actually, let's open up the instructions and see what they say. It's a target. Take the measure further. The fore-end end cap will pass over the muzzle accessory. Yeah, I removed that already. Apply the bonding agent provided in your end cap into the threaded portion. Screw the end cap until it is flush. If you reassemble or requires a gas tube to pass through the end cap, blah 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 blah. Okay, yeah, it's exactly what we're saying. Just make sure that it's flush, and make sure you put on that thread locker, guys, because that's the way that it's gonna.
So you guys are going to have to wait a certain amount of hours for it to lock up.
24 hours, it says. I think that's flush, or you think I need to turn it a little bit more? Oh, it actually does tighten all the way. Let's try to do this here. I don't think that's gonna fit. Nope. You could use a couple of them though.
Not nice and flush.
We make it so that this is. That didn't work. If you can get two of them in, they'll work to tighten it. Just want to make sure that this circle. That is actually, that's perfect.
Okay. Alright guys, so now it's time to install the flash hider compensator.
Alright. So we took off the bird cage, standard one. This one is the Phantom compensator slash muzzle brake.
Well, there is an appropriate way to install the crush washer. Ryan, can I see the crush washer? So what you want to do, guys, there's a beveled edge to the crush washer. Come on, focus, focus, focus. Then as you guys can see, the beveled edge right there where my thumb is. You want that to go on the inside. So like this. And the beveled edge is up against the barrel. So remember, you only need about 15, 20 pounds of force to tighten this bad boy on.
Now with this guy, I believe you do want the fatter section towards the bottom.
Yeah, but it is already indexed, so whatever it comes out to be, it's kind of what it's going to have to be. That's what I found on my SR556, and I was very surprised though when I did shoot that with that that 5C. What is that? It's a Phantom 5C2, I think it is, and it was awesome.
I actually think this one's going to index real well.
Yeah.
It's just rubber, handy dandy.
It's about 15 pounds of force.
It's about right there, right?
Yep, there you go.
Alright. It is a little bit to the side. Could probably loosen that up and tighten it again. But, alright.
Alright guys, so we're going to put the gun back together and we'll show you the finished results.
Alright guys, so here's the finished product. I am going to be mounting the same scope that I had on it before, which is a Nikon 3-9 by 40, I believe, P223 scope. But yeah, this is it. Now this is the rifle length. This is a carbine, or carbine, whatever way you want to say it. So it does come a little bit farther out, and there's that Phantom flash hider muzzle brake there. I think that looks pretty badass. What do you think, Chad?
That looks great. So
and it's nice and light too, guys. It really is. So let's check the function test there. Perfect. No binding of the gas tube or anything on there, guys. So it just shows that it's that important to align that barrel nut and just make sure that your gas tube is in there correctly, or you are going to get some binding when you charge. I don't get any binding at all. So awesome.
So guys, this is the final part of our accessorizing your AR videos. If you have any questions regarding any of this stuff, feel free to ask. Ryan and I are more than happy to try to answer it. If you really desperately need us to answer a question, please send us a personal message. I know a lot of times we get so many messages throughout the day in our inbox that a lot of them, sometimes they don't update. Ryan checks them on his phone, so I'm not seeing all of them. So just be aware of that. So if you need something personal, message us. But that's how you do it. And please let us know if we can help you. Check out our channel. If you want to see more videos, we have over 500 videos covering all manner of firearms, accessories, knives. And this is Chad and Ryan from Seeing Our Reviews. Have a good day.
Thanks for watching, guys.